Hey guys, make sure you checked out part 1 of this series. The first part is my PharmD personal statement. It's about a 10-minute long video, but it specifically goes into the breakdown of my PharmD personal statement. So this video, we're going to talk about my MPH personal statement. There wasn't much difference between this one and my PharmD one, but I did have to tweak a few things to basically personalize it for the Masters of Public Health program. So let's get into it, guys. So there wasn't much difference between my PharmD personal statement and my MPH personal statement, mainly because I had already got accepted into the PharmD portion of my specific school, and the only thing I had to do was really submit another personal statement. Because I had already been accepted, they sent me an express application for SOFAS. If you're an MPH student, you know what SOFAS is. So they sent me an express application, which basically I only had to fill out my personal statement, and I just had to answer the normal demographic questions. So I didn't have to do a complete application through them. So in my personal statement for them, I took out most of the whole why I want to be a pharmacist and replaced it with public health stuff. So some changes I made were, alongside my PharmD, I'd like to continue my public health study to receive my Master's of Public Health, specifically due to the dual degree broadening the occupational and professional opportunities in community pharmacy, industrial pharmacy, as well as institutional practice pharmacy. I specifically am attracted to specialties of pharmacy such as transplant, oncology, infectious diseases, and working with underserved populations in the United States Public Health Service. Not only for my love of pharmacokinetics, but because of my patient interaction and education aspects of those specialties. I get the opportunity to consult alongside physicians and other providers regarding their patients' cases, as well as discuss with each patient their medication regimen, side effects, and the importance of medication compliance to prevent consequences such as transplant rejection. Throughout my undergraduate studies, I had the opportunity not available to many undergraduate public health students at other institutions to develop, implement, and analyze a public health intervention. Since then, I pay close attention to organizations, companies, and institutions' missions, goals, and objectives. The Doctor of Pharmacy Master of Public Health Program's objective truly sold me. It says, it is passionately committed to the educational development of public health professionals who are prepared to confront complex health issues such as improving access to healthcare, controlling infectious diseases, reducing environmental hazards, violence, substance abuse, and injury. These degrees would not benefit just me alone. They'd be an investment in communities across the United States, providing compassionate pharmaceutical care to underserved communities, as well as being involved in bench-to-bedside research would be more than fulfilling for my future endeavors. I hope to turn my passion I have for educating others, helping others, and positive attitude into a promising career as a United States Public Health Service as a clinical pharmacist. A Master of Public Health will assist in paving the way for me to be a culturally competent pharmacist, patient-centered researcher, and a caring patient educator. I reeled them in, y'all. But yeah, so those are my two personal statements. And while they sound freaking awesome, it did not take me 2 days to write them, or even an hour. It literally took me some time. So here are just a few tips along the way. 1, start early. Like, PharmCAS opens in 27 days. Start today. I actually started a semester early. PharmCAS opened for me July 2018. In January of 2018, I had a public health course that required you to write a personal philosophy paper, I think is what it was called. And honestly, it was basically like a personal statement for me. So while I was writing that, I actually found myself like, holy crap, this would be a good personal statement. So I did have to take a few things out because I didn't want to go all philosophical in my personal statement. So that actually helped me a lot. So that was due like February. And so from then, I actually just kept revising and I kept adding on to that bare draft that I had. I kept continually working on that. So second tip would be write things down as they come to you. I would be on the bus, like going from school to my apartment, and I think of, oh my God, Hearts and Hands Clinic was a freaking awesome experience. Like, I should talk about that, and it pull up my notes and I had to write it down. Or even quotes that I wanted to add. The Roy Bennett quote. Like, I read an article and I was like, I love this. This is like so me. I wrote it down, copy and paste it into my notes. So just write down ideas as they come to you. You might not be thinking of it at the time as you're drafting, but maybe like 2 days later when you're on a run and you thought about how the reason you want to become a doctor was because this one nurse and doctor people had a great positive effect on you. Write that down. So just write ideas down as they come to you in your notes, send them to yourself. That way, as you're continually writing, you're like, oh yeah, I want to incorporate this. 3, be upfront. If you want to become a doctor because you want to be a leader, say it. If you want to become a pharmacist because you hate guts and surgeries and blood and stuff, say it. If you want to become a PA because you want to be in the medical field but you don't want to spend 25 years in school, say it. So just be honest with what you want to do, why you want to do it, the path you want to take. Just be honest about everything. 4th tip, be personal. It doesn't mean that you have to be like, oh, my mom's dad's grandma and all this, you know, giving everyone's social security number. I'm not talking about that personal, but mainly just like maybe talk about just an academic problem. You may have ADHD, or you're not a good test taker. You have anxiety. You went through a very tough time in school. Like, mention that. Some things on your transcript aren't necessarily reflected in your personal statement, and I think they should be. On my transcript, I sucked at history. I didn't do good in my history courses. So I mentioned that. I mentioned that throughout my personal and academic struggles, I've continued to persevere. Personal struggles being that, like, my family went through a traumatic series, but you know, once I came to my interview, I mentioned that to them. You know, had a tough second year of college, but I mean, it's honest, you know. Also going back to number 3, which is be honest. So 4, just kind of be personal. You don't have to be a robot in writing this. You know, you're a real person and they're accepting people into their programs. They want to know that you have, you know, a life, you have emotions. They don't want to just accept a robot. 5, read it 30 times. If you can read it 100 times, read it 100 times. Do not submit your personal statement and you have spelled pharmacist wrong, you have spelled physician wrong, you have spelled physician assistant wrong. Like, guys, read it, use Grammarly, use Google Word Check, use Microsoft Word Check. Like, guys, read it. Do not like type it up and just go click. Don't, because know how to use punctuation as well, guys. Come on. Tip 6, send it to others and let them read it. Me personally, I have 2 professors in my family, as well as my mom's in law, so she sees documents all the time. So I literally was like, hey guys, I read my personal statement, I'm gonna send it to you. Whenever you want to check it out, just send it back to me. We've got like 2 months. So I sent it to my uncle. He's a professor, and he sent me back like a whole entire document with red on it, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess I am stupid. So, and then I sent it to his wife, who's also a professor, and she looked at it, gave me some feedback and all that stuff. And then I sent it to my mom. My mom actually received like almost every single draft of mine, and she would just like quickly read over it, send me some feedback. You know, we didn't call about it. On her commute home, I'd be like, hey, did you read? She's like, yeah. What does this mean? What is? Probably don't want to mention that. So send it to others. I believe my boyfriend even read it like 5 or 6 times. So let others read it, because sometimes I'm trying to get a thought across and everyone's like, what the heck are you writing here? Like, this sounds like gibberish. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. You're right. So I'm gonna change that. But yeah, let everyone else read it, because sometimes they give you a different viewpoint, and how they reflect it is how your admissions committee may reflect it. So let someone else read it. So that's about it, guys. I'm sure there's plenty of other tips that people are giving out online, YouTube, on blogs. So check those out. I really hope just hearing my 2 personal statements and if these tips really helped you guys out. If so, please let me know below. If you have any questions, please contact me on Instagram. My name is Ruuds in the Pharmacy. You can also check out my blog, which is in below. Thanks, guys.